Welcome to Mitchell Levy Presents, where I dive into the essential elements of clarity and credibility. Hosted by global credibility expert Mitchell Levy, today's episode offers invaluable insights to make you think and act more credibly. Join us as we explore living your values, boosting your credibility, and leading purposefully. Hey, come and join me. This is Mitchell Levy, global credibility expert, and today's a crazy fun day. I was on 4 other people's podcasts, and this is the last one of the day where I get to talk with Sergio about him. So I get to drive, but really what's happening is he gets to drive. And so I'm excited to announce that I have Sergio, and I should have asked your last name. So I'm going to say it, and then you can tell me Athanasso.
Yeah, you got it.
Really?
Nailed it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
All
Probably
right,
did better than
Sergio
like it.
Athanaso. Sergio,
Yeah,
great to have you here. Who are you?
great to be here. Well, I'm an immigration lawyer and I have my own immigration firm that I opened a little over a year ago, and I specialize in corporate immigration. That's pretty much who I am.
No, that's kind of what you do. Who are you?
I am, well, a lot of answers, but I would say that I'm um a social people person and maybe a little bit of a perfectionist that enjoys, hmm, I don't know. It's a good question. Who am I? I don't know. Maybe I need to think about that a little longer.
Maybe when you talk to your friends or when you make friends and all that stuff, how do you show up?
I guess I show up positive. I think I'm a positive person. I think I'm pretty enthusiastic. People usually don't want me to leave when I do leave. So I would say that people just have good energy, or they feel like comfortable around me. So I don't know. I guess that's maybe those are characteristics, but that might help to describe who I am.
Got it. Positive energy. People like having you around. That's a nice thing.
I,
Do you
I
have you're where are you residing? I know you're in multiple locations.
I've been snowbirding, so I've been between Pittsburgh, where I'm working on a real estate project there, and I've been in Miami. But I've been spending most of the time in Miami, of course, during the winter months. But I'm actually currently in Miami, and it is really hot.
I would say this time of year it gets very hot, and it's but Pittsburgh has we don't have humidity. I'm on the West Coast, so we don't have humidity in this part of the world. And I went to school in Miami, so I remember how really hot it got during the summers.
It gets really, really hot and sticky. It starts about now, and then you have hurricane season, so you can get rain and a lot of fun stuff. So this is the tough part. I guess it pays off in the winter.
Now, do you find yourself? Tell me a little bit more about you. Do you find yourself um, working all the time, playing all the time? What's a little bit more about Sergio?
I think I more working all the time. I think I'm happier when I work more. I think there's less mind racing, and I like to be productive. I feel like I wouldn't say I'm a workaholic. I do think I know when to stop. Um, but I would say that I'm working almost all the time. I still check my emails and stuff on weekends and will respond to things. I never really truly take a break. So I guess that could be a bad thing. But I also really like what I do, so who knows?
So you like what you do, or you love what you do?
I like what I do. I think what I do is stressful, so it's hard to love it because it is very stressful, but I do really like it. I just think that the stressful component of it makes it a little bit tiring because that it's very meticulous work. So a minor typo could mess up somebody's life, which is kind of crazy. So you have to be on your toes. all the time.
How did you get to the point where this is you and this is what you're doing?
Well, I went to law school. I had parents that were like, lawyer or doctor. And I was like,
Huh. Wait, does
I'm
anyone
not.
know those parents? I
And I was like, well, I don't know if I have the brain capacity or gifts to be a doctor or even want to. So I was like, let me try this legal route. At least I can do whatever bachelor's degree I want. And then I thought, I come from a family with an immigrant background. Maybe I'll do that. And maybe I'll do corporate because I grew up in a family business. And then one thing led to another. And I started working at a corporate firm and now running my own. So I guess it's just a matter of chance, like anything in life.
I'm trying to figure out. So, but why immigration? Got the lawyer thing. Why immigration?
Mostly because I've I think because my parents, yeah, no, they're first generation, so I've felt like always American, but always kind of not, in a weird way.
Mm,
And I've always bonded with um people visiting and the foreign exchange students, and I find it curious, like the sociological aspect of it, and I'm just very curious. I think I'm very curious in people and how different cultures work. And I guess I figured that it was the only way to mesh what I was kind of forced to do with what I like.
nice. So you like people,
Yeah. Yes.
and I think you like serving people. So as a lawyer, what you ended up doing, you like serving people. Was this the easiest or most interesting way to serve people as a lawyer?
I would say it can be difficult because, at least in this field, this subsector, of immigration, people are very anxious. And you really get to see like their anxious side of things. I mean, it's very few professions where I think people are that anxious the whole time. Now, I don't know what like a litigation attorney would go through, but if those cases go on forever, or maybe it's just kind of business to business, maybe it's less personal. But, where I have someone who's maybe wanting to put their kids in school or feel like if their case gets denied, they have to sell their home, or maybe that means going back to a second or third world country, then it's a lot. So, yeah.
Interesting. So can you tell a story, obviously without names, of a client that you've worked with and you were just really proud of everything that happened?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, I will say that I'm always proud or excited when I get an approval, but the ones that are challenging or the cases that are maybe not like a hole in one or need some repair, those are the ones that tend to be a little bit more rewarding. But like I had a student at I think it was Cornell, and she was an Indian student, and she was in India during COVID, and I guess there were some glitches in the system. And also with the time difference, this is severe time difference, she was attending classes and lectures at crazy hours. Like I think we're talking like 4 in the morning or whatever that may have been. I think it's like a 12-hour difference. So I guess she had an issue with submitting one of her assignments, and they were heavily graded, and ended up her I guess she flunked that class, and then they revoked her status. So um she hired an attorney to litigate the case. And the litigation attorney was like, "Oh, wait, you have an immigration status that goes with this? Like, we can't just like threaten the school and get you put back in. Like, you also have to reinstate your visa status." So they contacted me, which was cool because I never worked like hand in hand with a litigation lawyer. And they're like, "Listen, we got the school to accept her back. Now you need to do the immigration side." So I ended up getting that approved, and it was a big case, and it's like an Ivy League student. So I was like, that is really, really cool. And I worked with a firm in New York City for a top school, and I was like, how did I land this? But it was nice. That was one of my most rewarding, I think, one of them.
How does it? I'm trying to think about there's feelings that happen during and after something as powerful as that. What sort of feelings or emotions came up during that for you and for her?
I think she was really relieved, I think, and happy she was able to finish school. And I think she felt almost like protected because I was, helping her with her status, which was a big deal to graduate. I don't know what she would have done. Maybe transferred and not graduated from an Ivy League school. I don't know. For me, I felt it was kind of a first time. I did another reinstatement like that before, but with that fact pattern, I it was just rewarding. I felt proud of myself, and I was like, wow, you can really take on any kind of case type. So now, I'm not really afraid anymore. So it was reassuring. I guess I felt reassured. Um, when you take risks and with these things and do new case types and whatever, you gotta start somewhere. And that's kind of what cases like that taught me is that everyone starts somewhere. And that was really where I took off my business. And I was like, okay, I can do this. I don't need a partner or a mentor, at least anymore. I'm like, I can figure things out. So I felt rewarded and I felt confident and I was proud of myself for sure. Definitely proud of myself.
Mm, nice. Now I'm a little reluctant to ask, but I'm gonna ask this other side. Um, is there any client, obviously no names, that you worked with where things didn't go the way you expected? And what did you do about it?
I had to say I'm pretty fortunate to have not, and this isn't just like some legal disclaimer, to really not make mistakes. I mean, I don't know if it's because I check things a lot or I have good systems in place, but I have had circumstances where clients don't listen. So I
Oh,
had a
surprise. Wait, do any of us know? Put in the chat if you've ever had a client that doesn't listen to your thoughts or advice or suggestions. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes like there's risks, and I can't always say, if someone's gonna have issues like with travel, like that's one thing with travel. CBP, Customs and Border Patrol, they can stop somebody or question somebody. So there's always a risk when you're in a visa type, and I don't know, whatever. There's gonna be a risk. So I had one client that had a criminal issue in the past years ago, like when she was 20, and she needed a waiver. So in order to come back, she needed a waiver because we changed her to a different type of visa status. So I said, you need a new waiver that reflects the new visa status. And she's like, oh, I've been coming in like this all the time. I've been doing this for years. Mine doesn't expire. I said, yeah, but it doesn't have the new visa type on it. I said, I don't think you should travel. And she was like, well, I have a Botox appointment. I have all this stuff.
Oh,
And
and
obviously,
so she was traveling for the right reasons. Okay, got it. Okay.
for the right reasons. I mean, in her defense, her prior attorney told her that she needed to and didn't know about the waiver issue. So when I took the case on, I said, well, I'm glad you told me because you really shouldn't travel. So she did. And then I was like, oh no. So we brought her back in her old status. She was able to go back to her old employer and then immediately filed the change of status back. But oh my goodness, it was like 1,000 pages. It's like this big. For those who can't see my hands, it's wide. Yeah,
Huh.
I was like rushing
Almost
to
almost bigger than the screen, just saying. Okay.
yes. And I was just rushing to get that mailed out and get that fixed. So and it ended up leading to a really happy client and getting their business. So it was a good thing. But yeah, when clients don't listen, that's kind of tough. Sometimes when it comes to traveling, that's usually when they don't, because I don't know, maybe they have family or they want to go home, and I understand. Like I do. I'm just like, well, now I have a problem sometimes.
That's interesting. I it sounds to me as I'm listening to you and you telling these stories, there was a reason for that. And it it shows that you really care about your clients, regardless of whether they actually listen to you or not. Is that a criteria in terms of you saying yes to a client?
I do I do tend to care a lot about my clients' cases. So I think I'm that way as a person, um, and as a friend. I'm kind of always the one. Um, I feel like in relationships, like I'm kind of the one maybe doing more, where I had to learn to not have expectations of others because I'm more generous and giving. So I think it does help with my work, to an extent. So I do care about my cases, and it's rare that I won't like put my heart and soul into a case. I mean, only time I wouldn't is if maybe it's like a placeholder case or something, and I know it's not really going to matter. We just need to get something filed, by some time, strategic. But other than that, I really care, and if something's denied, I get really upset about it, and I try to find alternatives.
So, have you ever had a prospect come to you asking for help and you realize that it wasn't a good fit?
Yeah, I've fired I have fired a couple clients. As I get older, I have less patience for the ones that kind of are really anxious. So when I tell them something a few times, I will say now kindly, like, I don't think that it's a match. And that can happen though. I mean, it's a relationship, and just because they're hiring me doesn't mean necessarily that it's worth it to me to maybe handle somebody's either anxieties or maybe their follow-ups. I mean, some people are a little bit more frantic, and you see that when you do business with them, especially in this field. So I don't know. I don't have the patience, I think. I wish I were a little bit more patient.
Really?
I
It
don't think I'm patient.
if you're giving so if I'm listening to you, you're a giving person. In relationships, you're often giving more and trying to hold back any expectations. And
Mhm.
I think if you bring that into your work, which sounds like you do, if you're a giving person, somebody has to go really far for you to be able to go, yeah, this is not for me anymore.
Yeah, I guess you may be right. I think anybody would probably be getting to that point with some of the clients. I mean, I've only fired like 2 or 3. So, but
More than many others. Maybe not
yeah,
enough, but you know.
it's usually early on though. I can kind of sense it early on. I'm like, this one's gonna be a pass. It's not when I'm like in the case and in the weeds. It's like really early on. I'm like, when they start asking questions before they even like pay anything or sign anything, and it's like they're calling me. I'm like, all right, like this person's nuts. Like I can't do this for like 6 months or a year. I'm like, it's not worth it.
I I in my contracts I have a PETA clause, a pain in the ass clause.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's exactly right.
interesting. All right, let me tell you what I'm hearing. Okay. The
Shoot.
At the beginning of the conversation, you said you think you work too much.
Yes.
And in listening to you, though, although you were quote unquote forced to take this profession, you're you're really are liking. I'm gonna go as far as say you're really loving. You have the intent and commitment to do the right thing, and you are serving an audience that needs you, and you're enjoying it.
Yeah. I am. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So Sergio, is it
Yeah.
possible that for you, what you've crafted as your work is to some extent also play,
Yeah. Yeah. I would think so. Yeah.
which is, by the way, most people's dreams is to be able to play all the time.
I, you know, it can be really fun. And I like the challenge, and I'm up for a challenge, and I like my team that I hired, which I consider coworkers, even though I hired them, we work together and we do actually have fun. I mean, and there is like a sense of, sometimes we're rushing to file things and we get people stuck and we are helping. At the end of the day, we are helping. And we do have a little fun. There's some clients that we all roll our eyes to. I mean, I think every business probably has that. Or we're like, oh, it's that one. We have a couple nicknames. No. We make it fun. I mean, we make it, not everybody gets a nickname. Not everyone's that lucky. But yeah, I think you're right. I actually think I'm fortunate in that sense. I found, I guess, a path that I guess it's unique. I mean, it's really unique. I don't know a lot of people that do immigration and corporate. No one from my graduating law school class or college, and it's a really niche market. And I get really good testimonials. I actually don't usually ask for them. They just give them to me. And I'm like, thanks. I'll put it on my website. Like, that's really nice of you. Um, but I started to start asking for them. I was like, maybe I should start asking people. Like, can you write a
It's
testimony?
actually a great business process,
It
right? And
is.
for most people, it's because having the the definition of credibility is the quality in which you're trusted, known, and liked.
It's right.
Well, in something as potentially life altering as immigration status, you're going to want to work with somebody that you absolutely know and you know who they are and you trust that they have your best interest at heart. And if you have a choice, you also want to like
Right.
them.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like, I was really pushing marketing and stuff like that, but it's like the referrals are actually running my business now. I mean, and it's only been a little bit of time. So, I mean, I don't think I've ever like lost an account or lost a client. I guess I realize that my personal attributes with friends, they actually apply at work. So, um, I've been starting with a few clients. Um, Sometimes when they call at crazy hours, I'll be like, "This isn't urgent." Like, I'll talk to you on Monday. And there's a couple times I've had to set boundaries, but they usually say, "Okay, sorry." They know.
No,
They
but
know.
here's what's interesting is when you're talking about these things, the show is Leaders Living Their Values. It really is one of the funnest times that I have. And thank you for letting me play live because what we're doing is we're pulling out your values, right? We're pulling out your vulnerability. We're pulling out the external integrity and internal integrity that you address. We're talking about your authenticity. The thing that's interesting is we can see that you're coachable, right? Even though you got rid of your mentors, you still are able to learn and grow. I think people are interested in you because you have the intent and commitment to actually do the right thing by people. You feel like a servant leader. We talked a little bit about the respect you show others and the likability. I mean, there are attributes of all the 10 values of credibility that you're talking about.
Yeah,
And you're humble.
yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true. It's actually all true. I mean, I'm known to be a good person. And I'm definitely known for that. And I I know someone everywhere. People are like, "How do you have so many friends?" Like, my mom asks me that all the time, and it's like if I ever want to go to a city, people are like, "You can stay with me." And they're always like, "My house is your house." I think I have a big heart, so it does it does work. It does work, and what I do, and I do get back from it though because it keeps me busy and it keeps me proud. I think people would be happier if they were accomplishing things. I think when you do live your values, and you care about your work, I think that maybe does give you purpose. And I think that that purpose makes me happy. I always feel like people are so depressed around me. And I also realize that they're not striving for anything. And I'm like, that I don't know, there's like that kind of rewarding feeling that makes you feel like you deserve to either have fun or deserve to treat yourself or, like you're giving back and it makes you just feel better. So obviously I still have bad days and tough days and days I want to throw the computer out the window. But I think overall, I guess I do love what I do. I hate to admit it, but I guess I do.
I know it's tough. I had to really pull that out of you.
Yeah, gosh darn it. Shouldn't work came on this show. What the heck? Like what I do, gosh.
That's so funny. So we have two more questions, and stick around for the second. Second one's always a fun one for those who
Yeah.
are listening and watching. It's first question: if somebody is currently dealing with an immigration status issue or has somebody they want to recommend to you, how best can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me by my email. I would say that's probably the easiest way to get me. It's just my name, Sergio, at sergiolaw.com.
That's pretty easy.
Pretty
Sergio
easy.
at sergiolaw.com. Thank you, Sergio. Okay.
Welcome.
So we had a conversation, which I am absolutely sure was something that you did not expect to go in this way. And so if there was a one last question I could ask you that I haven't asked yet, what would that be?
I haven't asked yet. Hmm. I guess what my goals are. I guess my long-term goals. Um, and this.
Awesome. I like
So
that question. All right, Sergio, what are your, thanks for feeding me on this one. What are your long-term goals?
I set myself up. You made me set myself up. All right. So my long-term goals. It's a good question. Um, so
Well,
I
you asked it. I really appreciate you sharing it. So,
so let me think about this. You know, I'm getting to a point where the firm is growing pretty quickly, so I'm fortunate, and I'm like, do I want to slow this down, and how hard do I want to work, and so that's what I'm trying to figure out, and I don't know. I think it would be nice to do this more for fun one day, where I have kind of like passive income and then I can do the cases that I find enjoyable and kind of make this like a side job. But right now it's the full-time job. And I don't think that's because, I don't like what I do. I just think it's very demanding work. And there's just a lot that goes into it. And a lot of ungrateful clients. You'd be shocked probably. And it's like even though they're wins and I'm doing good work, not all of them are grateful. So maybe I would do the challenging cases, the people that I really, really fell for. Um, like the special one-offs or something like that.
hmm, fascinating. By the way, I think something else popped in my head. If you don't mind, and we'll do one last question. Tell me how is AI affected, or will you how do you perceive AI is going to change the way you do your business?
Well, we already started to use it to help draft some of our arguments. So I think that it will simplify things. I probably won't need as many employees, but there still needs to be a lawyer at the end reviewing and doing the final review. I don't know how far AI could go to fully cut out the attorney, like even like a doctor even. There is a personal aspect and a strategic aspect to what I do. Sometimes you got to think outside the box. I don't know when AI will do that. And even if it does, I don't know, would it have to pass the bar? I don't know. But right now, we are using it to draft letters, but we still have to review it, put the information in, say the type of thing that we're looking for. So it doesn't automate, all our invoices and it doesn't do our consultations, it doesn't do our podcasts, anything like that. So it hasn't, I wouldn't say it's killed the industry or anything like that yet, but probably is helping, at least with writer's block, I would say. That definitely helps get your start, when you're like, what do I say about this industry? It's a nice place to start. I'd say it's like great for writer's block.
Love that. Sergio, thank you so much for coming up and showing you. I really appreciate getting the chance to visit with you.
Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it a lot. It's been nice.
Oh, good. And I know what nice means to you. So, hey, listen, for those that are still here, thank you for joining us. This is now your time to spread some cred dust. Write down those aha moments that captured your thoughts and attention. Put them in whatever social platform you typically hang out with, and look forward to seeing you at the next episode of Leaders Living Their Values. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found value in today's episode. Like, subscribe, and share your aha moments on your preferred platform. Remember, credibility starts with clarity and living your values. Learn more at mitchelllevy.com. Until next time.